But other than that, we haven't got any.
Not yet. In a few weeks we'll find out.
Right. So,
Yes,
it's still to wait.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. She's yes.
No, I've got it here. That's what I wanted to do. I missed this one.
You're right, sorry.
I know they
Don't know where I am yet. I've got back on territory. You want to speak to them? You want to speak? That's a lot of demonstration. You want to speak at the beginning of the charity meeting. Otherwise, it will be right at the end. Well, 10 minutes. Right, okay. No, that's fine. Otherwise, it will be right at the end. I know you like that. I know I understand. No, I'll set that. You're right. I know. Well, I'll ask, and then it's fine. I'll find out all right, at the end of charity meeting. Because otherwise it's right at the end of the meeting, so all right, no problem. How many buildings do you want to go? It's probably eyes down.
Is this blinding you, Michael? Is the light on?
No.
What?
Battery gone.
Have you sabotaged it?
I blame the operator quite frankly. Everybody sitting comfortably? 7 o'clock. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for attending tonight's meeting. Shall we just go through the following? Yeah, we'll do that, and then if we enter item 1, the charity meeting, we're to receive apologies for absence. We've got Councillors Vernon, Smith and Thornton. Is everybody happy to receive those apologies? Okay, sure. Thank you. Right, I've had a request by a member of the public, well, Mrs. Warled, if she can make a short speech at the beginning of the meeting. I'm going to try and do it now because she's got to leave, and I don't want to sit here till probably gone 9 o'clock before we get down to the 10 minutes at the end of the meeting. So, if are members happy to allow Mrs. Warled 5 minutes to?
Yeah.
Can I just have it? Okay, thank you, Sandra.
It's just to ask Miles in what direction the skate park is going to go now. because I understand that Stuart might want to come in and help. So if you'd like to just...
I know you came to the last meeting and Councillor Nancy wasn't here, so you didn't get it itemized. And I appreciate the city want to leave there. So can I just, if Miles can update us on...
At the moment, so we've got two...
Can you microphone, please, Miles? I know it's a long time since we had a meeting. Oh, that's it.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody click the little button so we're live.
At the moment, advice from VAR, which is Voluntary Action Rotherham. I've applied for 2 small funding bids to help us get us on its way. One is for £10,000, the other is for £15,000. Again, they sound like small, but next to the whole bid, which is bordering on £200,000, it's relatively small. And they're meant purely for things like repairs and maintenance to keep us going until we can apply for larger funding bids. At the moment, I am struggling to find large funding bids that can pay for the whole thing at one go, purely for the fact that they're not out there at the moment, especially if it will be in our areas at the moment, like we lived over the border in Scotland or really deprived area, then we might be alright. It might come to a fact that we might have to do it piece by piece and small funding bids and work its way up eventually. Again, find out at the end of the month about those. To apply for it probably at the end of July. Beginning of July. At the moment, activities with the kids, we haven't got any planned yet, but I'd like to get that started back up again. We do have plans sent to us again, updated plans from the last ones.
yeah, but I do think that we ought to be concentrating on getting funding rather than packing bags at Tesco, putting our time into trying to get, because it's gone on, this is the 3rd generation of children now waiting for this skate park.
I agree on that point as well, but I'd like to keep the kids involved somehow. And again, them raising just tiny bits of money, or even just raising awareness in the public of who we are at the same time, I think all helps towards the cause. I mean, they can't really help with writing funding bids and things like that. I've had to sit down and have a bit of help myself from it.
Yeah, I mean, we're not even having meetings, are we now?
No, we can't.
We haven't had any for, how many months?
It's because mainly when we do sit down at meetings, we can't really all fill in the funding. We tried that one time when we all came round to my house. It didn't work that well. It's a lot easier to sit down and write through it, and go through it yourself, and have it checked by someone. We can have a meeting, but I would struggle.
Can I just for clarity for everybody else on the council, is it possible to put that in some sort of a written update, just so we know where, because I think we'd like to know where we now fit into this, and where we can help or whatever, because at the moment it seems to be, as Sam was saying, nothing seems to be moving, it seems to have stalled, and I think we'd all like to try and move it forwards if we could, but we just need to be aware of where we are and what you're expecting as from that side, the council to help it. So I think if you could do that, it would be a big help, because we've got a lot of new members who are not aware of what's gone off so far. I think an update a written update would be helpful if you can do that for the next meeting.
At some point as well, I think I'd like to turn the group back into a working party of the council as opposed to a community group as well. Right, okay. So the community can still get involved if we want to.
Well, if you want to put that in the report, then copy Sandra into it and the clerk, and then we can have that distributed, and then we know exactly where we are and what bodies you want and any groups that you've got where we can help out.
Because there's no big funding bids gone in, has there?
Not yet.
So, it's not, they're not even, being tried.
We'll try and see if we can move that forward, Sam. If we can get that information on off from ours, and then we'll see how we can try and kick-start it again, because it does seem to have lapsed. So we need to try and pick up on that, right? We need to know where we are, I think, from everybody's point of view. Okay. Yeah. Are you okay with that then?
Right.
Probably as far as we can take it tonight, Sandra, from that.
You don't look very happy, Sandra.
Well, no, because you've heard it all before.
Yes, it's all been rehashed and rehashed.
Yes.
Here we are again.
Yeah.
Christine, can I just
sorry.
if that's what Miles has got to tell us so far, then we'll leave it at that point.
And then I think we ought to regroup and hopefully get more people on
Well,
board
as I say, once
who
we,
know how to get some
once we
funding.
get that update, there's an issue about funding later on in the meeting about BAR and Rotherham, so we'll have a look at how we can work with them as well. Okay. Right, thank you. Okay, thanks very much indeed. We'll move on to item 2, which is declaring interest in any of the matters to be considered.
No.
Anybody?
Yes, there's an argument then about the voting club and vice chairman voting.
Yeah, I shall declare a person because my wife's a member of that, so. Item 3, to identify items which the press and public may be excluded. Can't see any as such, there's no financial information on any of those. Well, we'll work through it, and if there's anything that people, as we get down the list, if anything that people think is we need to move out of public section, then we'll do it. Just bear with me while I... Okay, thank you. Item 4, confirm minutes of the meeting held on Wednesday, the 5th of August 2015. Page 1. Any queries? Any on that? Page 2. Good afternoon. Okay, thank you. Can I just have a proposal and second for the... Right, me and Jonathan. Okay, well, you can still send it if you want. All those in favour of accepting, please show. Thank you. Item 5, approved payments. In front of you. These are all being sent out as well by. Anybody, any?
200688. Is that a refund?
Yeah, it's a refund.
Well, what it is, because we missed the charity payment, so the council actually paid so the charities then we back to
It's a balancing up of money that council paid.
council paid because
Michael,
the bill came after the charity meeting, so we had to pay bank drafts more quickly. Otherwise, it'd been waiting till today.
So it's not a refund from the contract, it's a refund through the charity and parish council mechanism, so don't get too excited. That's Gordon again, wouldn't you? Anybody else got any queries on that? No? Okay, yeah. So proposal to accept them, Councillor Major, and seconded. All those in favour of accepting? Thank you. Item 6, to request a grant from Anston Parish Council. It's payment, this is to the Parish Council charity, payment in kind to cover employment costs for September 2015, £4,330.26. Everybody okay with that? That'll one signing by Councillor. So I've got that for you. Yeah, can I have again, propose it and second it, please? Drew, all those in favour of accepting that? Thank you. Item 7, to approve accounts for July 2015. I've got these in front of you. We've got that account, that's accounts page, reconciliation. Anybody got any questions on that? Okay. 7B, receipts. Okay. 7C is payments. Any questions on those? Everybody okay? And 7D, overview of council publishing on the parish council's website.
Can I just ask, what is the locking and unlocking gates, Charles? I don't understand that.
Well, yeah, Michael.
There's a gate at the side of the cabin here,
Yeah.
and another gate down on the main road, and they get locked at when it turns dark,
Right.
and we get opened at about 7 o'clock in the morning.
But that's what that's for, Janice, for opening and locking those gates for entrance.
So, is that just for July, that £400 then?
Yes,
So what, it's £100 a week?
maybe,
About 6 weeks.
probably about 6 weeks,
Okay.
but I understand.
Okay.
Any other questions? And the last one, no, that's later on, isn't it? So that's 7, A, B, C and D. Can I have a motion and a second for accepting those, approving? John? Colin, this time. All those in favour, please, John. Thank you. Item 8, discuss management accounts. Has everybody got a copy of those? I haven't got a copy. In fact, I don't see anything. It's basically up to date on the position of parish council. Are we still making our next money from the road? Yeah, but as I said, that doesn't take into account the second precept. That's the council, not the parish council recreation council. Can I ask the people want to just have a quick look at this if I pass it around? I can read it out. It's I'm just trying to pick the relevant bits. Yeah, which is the main one is the new boiler, which has been flagged up before, which was £3,682, which was in the basement and the old hall part. But that's been on the previous budget summaries anyway. And that's about it. That's the major item of expenditure. There's nothing else. The receipts are minimal. I think this time of year, aren't they?
Not everything more that's on budget.
So yeah, everything, as the last point said, everything is more or less within the budget for every issue or other item. Sorry, other than the boiler, which is the main cost. Other than that, it's okay, I think. But I will pass that around to people. Just want a quick view. Is everybody okay with that? Can I propose and accept it to, or second, sorry, to accept that, Philip? Me? All those in favour, please show. Item 9, to receive report on debtors.
was an explanation there from Shirley.
Right, the main one is the football team, and I've got an update from Mrs. Morgan, Senior Administrator. She's just to update you. She's still awaiting confirmation from the 35s, but she's contacted the new secretary for the club, obviously it was last month, asking him for contact details as to where the matches were played, as none of the contact details that she had been given were any good. I presume it's that Mountain. Yeah, so for the contact details she'd been given to Mountain Club weren't usable, so she's asked him for an update on those contact details. So we just have to wait for her to come back and see what progress she's made on that. So that's where we are with that one. So we're still awaiting further information. We'll deal with 35. Can I just propose and second for receiving that, please? Miles, all those in favour? Sure, thank you.
Is that just the football side or the...
There is no other one that's relevant.
This is SK58 Birders.
Sorry, yeah.
And they're asking for a grant as well, so should we take into consideration in the grants?
Well, we'll discuss that when it comes in the thing. They're still on there, I presume. That's still dated June, so it may well be that that's been paid since then. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, we've not had a problem with their payments before, so I presume it will be hopefully in the system. Fine, thanks, Jonathan. Item 11. Oh, sorry, 10. The very ban to receive update on tree surgery quotes.
No, he said on the
We have some figures on it, and I don't want to disclose them in public session. It's up to members if they want to move it into confidential just to discuss it, because it is contractual figures which we really should do. I can go through and give people an outline, it's if they want to actually know the figures, because I think we've got, are we looking for if it's true? Yes. Right. Okay.
But we should still discuss it.
Can I, we did discuss this about the board councils? Okay, well, if I just bring people today without mentioning the figures, we've had 2 quotes in. We're awaiting another one. We had a meeting, Brad myself with members from Street Pride, like 3 weeks since, and they're giving us a contact of their contractors that they use worldwide to get a quote from them. We thought this was worthwhile because they were only appointed last year, and obviously the Borough Council's tested the market by going out to competitive tender, and they were the lowest ones, so their rates should be the best ones on the market at the moment. So we're waiting to get that third quote, and I've supplied Mark with another company that we may well be able to get to, so we may get 4 at the end of the day. So if we can bring it back at the next meeting on the 21st, and then we can hopefully have at least 3, maybe 4 competitive quotes, so we can make a decision on them. But at this moment in time, it seems pointless quoting any figures. We might as well wait till we get to the 2, and then we've got a choice in front of us. So is everybody okay with that? We'll hopefully get the quote from the Borough Council's contractors before then. Can I just have a proposal and a second for that, just to accept?
Can I put on that?
Yeah, thanks, John. Drew, thank you. All those in favour? Thank you. Item 11, to consider whether tree preservation orders would be appropriate for some trees on the recreation ground. I think this was this was sent through by the arborist or arboriculturist that we had regarding tree preservation. Was this? I think this was flagged up at the last meeting. I've seen some other correspondence. his original letter about tree preservation orders. It's perhaps something that we need to have a look at. I'm not sure what people's views on this. If we do go down that route, we have to apply to the planning officer at the council. So it's a question of whether councils want to go down that route and see where we take it. Ivan, do you want to speak of this? You've got more experience than I have.
Tree preservation orders are a double-edged sword, really. Once they're protected, that means the landowner can't do anything to them as well without permission. And I should advise people there's quite a cost involved. Yes, you have to go to the planning department and get permission to prune them, to fell them. They've got a life expectancy, so they're never going to last forever. So at some stage they're going to have to be either cut, pruned, or even removed if they're diseased or dying.
It's dangerous, yeah.
Or if they're dangerous and bits start falling off them. If you've got a TPO on them, then that makes it a lot more difficult, and eventually it's going to cost the parish council a lot of money. So I would suggest the best thing to do is speak to the council's tree officer and see what his suggestion is. Is it still Chris Edgecombe, I think, isn't it? Yeah. Get Chris down. He should come down free of charge anyway, and get his advice. He may just turn around and say, it's not worth it. He may say, yeah, it is.
Is that a proposal?
No.
So I'm saying that's a good idea.
What a proposal to get Chris Edgecombe down?
Yeah.
Well, I can suggest a proposal, that we get the council's tree officer to advise the parish council on what to do next. When I started off, I was just suggesting that it's not as cut and dried as
I agree.
nobody can touch the tree if there's a TPO on it. It's actually a double-edged sword. It could work against us if we need to do some emergency works or whatever.
Nice.
I seem to remember when we were discussing the trees last time about the solicitors advising that we didn't really have to do anything with them anyway, because houses got longbows there, or were aware of them when they moved in and things like that. Do we need to go to all this effort to protect them when really we don't need it because they've got no argument against?
Well, I'm not sure, were you at the last meeting when we discussed this? What we did get from the horticulturist was a report advising some thinning of the trees and some other work to them, and some down on there. So we got a comprehensive survey from him, and that's why we've gone out for this work. The contractor will be supplied with his recommendations for work on them, which is what we're going to do. But I think, as Councillor Macy quite rightly says, we might as well get somebody down to the Borough Council if we can, and let them have a look and see which is the best way forward. Bear in mind, it may well cost us money at the end of the day. We need to know what the pitfalls are.
Can't we send the report from the fellow that we've had to this chap and then see if he agrees?
In theory, you should agree, because it's an industry standard. They should be working towards the same sort of principles, if you like. It's the principle of whether...
It's nice to know that we're getting agreement from somebody that we're not paying.
Yeah. I think if we start asking to do survey works, that might be different matter. We might charge us for that, because everything's on a fee basis with the unit. But certainly we should ask your advice on whether there's any benefit to having a tree preservation order on these trees or not. That it will give for free, I'm sure.
Can I raise that proposal then? Contact the tree officer at Rotherham and ask him if he can advise us on that. Are you okay with that? We get him out there then, say if it's one I can get, or if anybody else wants to attend the meeting just to hear what his thoughts are. Okay, so you're proposing it, John, you're proposing it, sorry, you're saying it. Can I have all those in favour, please, Sean? Thank you. Item 12, to receive an update on meeting with preschool. There were only, this was on the 17th, I think it was, of August, before the last meeting. I think there were 7 or 8 councillors present. Councillor Thornton's not here tonight, unfortunately, but he was part of this discussion. I think if somebody could just prompt me, I think the idea was that you were at that, weren't you, as well, that meeting with the preschool players? Yes. I think you were. I think what we decided was that they weren't sure about where they were with numbers until the beginning of this month when they started back. They were looking to try and pay the money back in a larger chunk, I think, at one point, which is what we were trying to do. But what we did agree with them, that we were meeting probably in a couple of months' time when things were settled down with the numbers, and also how they run with the funding that they get from central or government or local or RBC, to see where their income is and how things are going. So we've left it fairly open-ended that we'll arrange another meeting with them to discuss how they see the way forward. Council Thornton did offer to meet with them because I think they were looking at charitable status. I'm not sure. I think that was where they were at.
Yeah, I think I don't think they were fully aware of their status.
No, I think they were trying to resolve that, and Council Thornton did say he would try and help them sort that out if he could. So they were on a proper footing with applying for charity status. So that's where we left it. I don't think there was anything more than that, was there, Drew? The meeting.
We just discussed potential repayment structures.
Yeah, it was that we asked him to come back with once he got the numbers sorted out with the repayment strategy, to have a look at that again. But the agreement was, as far as I remember, to meet again end of October, November, maybe at half term, something like that.
Propose that we receive that report from you, Chair.
Okay. We can have a second, please, for that. Thank you. All those in favour? Thank you. So we'll bring that one, I'll follow that one up and arrange another meeting end of October time. Item 13, discuss car park marking for disabled spots.
Well, I put this on the, as for this going on the
Right.
agenda, Chair. We've got 2 spaces for disabled,
Yeah.
and they're exactly the same size as all the car parking spaces. And I had one occasion about 10 days ago where there was only one spot left, and the lady had to get out of the car in the car park, and I drove the car into the space because she couldn't get out of the car. So if you go to any normal car spaces, like go to Aldi for instance, and the side of each car parking space is a hatch piece
Nice
of
area, yeah.
3 foot, to allow people get in and out, and some can't. I think it should be looked at.
No, it's a fair comment. It's just which is the best way we can really, without having to shuffle every
Yeah,
gas ball. It's going to be a knock-on effect if we don't.
yeah, but it only affects, it's at this end, it only affects 2 parking spaces at this end. So you can move.
Yeah, Michael's just said we can move up to the left apparently. Without
Yeah, move to the left.
I
Yeah,
don't
you're
know.
okay. Because the top part is no parking, it says, for council vehicles. So, but you've got 2
Yeah,
disabled, and then you've got 1 ordinary parking space. That could be incorporated into the disabled
Yeah,
places.
okay. Well,
It's very difficult.
Yeah. Well, we'll have a look at that and see if we can give that extra area. I didn't realise that there were some of these things, unless you use them, you tend to just walk straight
Well, I
past
didn't
them.
really realise that I didn't get into a car.
No, it's not. We'll have a look at that then. So is everybody happy that we try
They're
and
okay.
resolve that?
They're okay.
Sorry, Janice, you're...
I'm just saying those places are okay for what they call ambulant disabled.
Yes, but
But
not.
if you've got a wheelchair, they're no good at
No.
all. I don't use them because I've got to find a space where nobody can park at the side of me. See,
It's usually the bottom corners or at the top, isn't it? So
Well,
And you're on the grass verge.
yeah.
well, usually against this wall, or I'm in a disabled place now, but I've kind of encroached on the other one because it's just not wide enough. But they are good for people who just have walking difficulties but don't use
Well,
wheelchairs.
if we can improve that facility, I'm just wondering the best way just have a look and see what sizes are necessary. We can have a look and see if we can do it with...
Yeah, it used to take one place to the left of the time, one ordinary parking space. Is it affect that's the only one it would affect?
Okay, well, we'll
So
see.
you have 2 spaces into 3.
Okay, we'll see if we can sort that out. And everybody in favour of us looking at, could I have a proposal in a second, please? Joe?
Second.
Gordon, thank you. All those in favour? Sure, thank you. We'll get that sorted out hopefully soon. Item 14, consider whether the football pitch should be restricted for use by just 2 teams for this football season. This is the age-old discussion that we've had. Maybe Why? Well, just to give you a bit of background, for the last few years we've had 2 teams sharing on this Sunday morning, a Saturday afternoon team, and sometimes we had a ladies team that played on a Sunday afternoon. So effectively you could get 3 matches, Saturday afternoon, Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, which is actually not doing the pitch any good. It's not getting time to recover, especially in the winter months. So what the idea was that we bring Crowgate back into use if we've got a team that wants to use it. And we just restrict it to 2 sharing on a Monday or a Sunday morning. So it gives the main pitch down here time to recover. So,
Thank you for
No
that.
problem.
Well, I think, sorry, Crowgate is on the agenda for the council meeting, so maybe it should be combined in this instance, you know.
well, it's somewhat different to where, because we've got a different scenario that's running at the moment at Crowgate. The clerk and myself had a meeting up there like 3 weeks since with Street Pride to see what they could do about getting it back into use, because the car had been dumped on there a few weeks since and burnt out on a part of where the football pitch was. They've been out and cleared that up and reseeded it, and we've asked them to mark the pitch out to a full-size adult pitch, and it's if anybody wants to use that. But ideally, I would like to just keep that to 2 teams on a Sunday morning and let a Saturday afternoon team play up there if we can. But I don't know how many teams we've got wanting to play this season.
It's 2, the other 35
Yeah, so we only know for 2 teams, and they'll be sharing this pitch down here, which are probably the Little Leicester and Anstonians who are playing tonight. So we've got 2 teams there that are sort of local teams. The other 35, I think, is made from players drawn from an area outside
I was going to say we should get them for that.
outside the village. So they won't be paying for that one because it's a league match. So we've seen it tonight.
Can I just ask, is there some sort of serious problem with the drainages?
Yes.
Well, why is it there?
Right?
Why is it there?
What do you mean?
Surely we've got other places around it for the football pitch.
Where?
Well, you've got fields all over the place.
But it's not quite as simple as that.
Well, it seems a bit silly, you know. It's like people talking about building houses on the water tables. Same thing on a small scale. You don't build on water.
Well, this is not quite as straightforward. It's been had drainage in it quite a long time since, and a lot of that's failed, which is why it's dipping in the middle. It's tending to hold water. So the more we can manage it, the better it's going to last until we can undertake whatever works that we need to do. Which we've had figures for that. If John,
I think it also proves that some more springs are springing up.
yeah,
And that's why this is one at the side, but the big hole up there because it uncovered a spring which was coming through, which previously didn't happen until quite recently.
so it's really to try and manage what we've got until we can get around to doing the work. And unfortunately, the more it gets overused, the worse it's going to become. If it gets played on a Saturday afternoon in bad weather, you could get matches abandoned on a Sunday morning, so everybody's losing that. Sorry, Jonathan.
Yeah, can I just mention with Sports England, they've got a scheme that's protecting playing field scheme, where you can apply for grants between, I think, 10,000 and 65,000. With Parish Council, they don't have to give any money towards that at all, it's purely grants, which is something I'm looking at only in initial stage to see what could get from that.
Yeah.
And then they'll sort the drainage out, relay the whole pitch, do a year's maintenance as well.
Yeah, I mean, I know their big thing at the moment is sporting facilities. Well, I know sporting is stupid, but changing facilities and actual keeping pitches, community football pitches and things like that, going around and being lost. So it's perhaps something. I mean, if you've started looking at that,
I've got the information. It's quite a long-winded thing,
right? But if you want to bring that back, because it's something that we've got to tackle sooner or later to get that back into a decent condition. So at this moment in time, we've only got 2 teams on Sunday morning. If the other 35 decide they want to play, we'll ask them if they want to use because it's a big enough pitch. Which needs a post, but you know, there's no point doing that unless we know something's going on.
Well, these grants will cover
Dropped up the Krogan.
Posts are up.
Posts are up. Well, they went up the other day. Put it that way. There's a big go up of it. I think when he posts at the edge of the car park, they also said that they would supply some posts at the edge of the car park to stop vehicles getting onto the grass because they've knocked their way through and that's why they burnt that car out. So hopefully they've got the parking windows for nothing and now not to stop anybody. A small charge apparently, but it's not been a lot. But they've got some posts they're going to erect for us and shut that area off so at least we can protect it.
Can you mention as well, with the Crowgate site as well, because it's a 25-year lease, they will give funding for leased land as well, as long as it's 25 years.
So that's the sort of timescale that they're looking for.
Yeah, but I'm not sure what Sports England have what sort of hold they have over that, whether or give me a grant for it, I'm not sure. Because it is mentioned in the...
Well, if you can bring some of that information back to us, we had a meeting with, I'll touch on this later on, VAR, about funding schemes, and there's a proposal for, if anybody wants to attend a funding seminar in Rotherham, I think, later this month, that enables you to put this in, things like that. So it's something we have spoken to, it's something we can perhaps put in the equation that you said about. That's why we let the clerk have that information. We might as well try and get as much money as we can for nothing at the end of the day. So yeah, that'd be helpful if you do that.
It's quite nice to know though, if the Borough Council apply, they have to do pound for pound.
All right. I like that. So can we, as I said, at this moment in time, we're just going to try and keep that to two teams if we can, and we'll just wait and see if anybody else wants to use the pitch and take it from there.
So is that the effort, 2 teams over?
Can I have a proposal that we keep it to 2 teams?
So is the suggestion that we go with the 2 teams that have already said they're
Yes.
committed,
Yes.
and if somebody else comes along and say, yes, you can use up one of our football pitches, but it's pro game.
Yeah. It's fully marked out than the post room, so it's...
And it's a suitable football pitch.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Well, in that case, in the interest of spreading the load, I'm quite happy to propose that.
Right, thank you. It's been in use 20 odd years.
Well, is the football pitch on Greenland still meant put up by the
Yeah, that's
borough?
Borough, yeah.
And is it still used?
Yes, yeah.
It's used by a couple of youth teams,
Is it? Oh, okay.
Anston Rangers.
Yeah, that's fully used up there, so as I say, we might as well use that pitch up there while we've got it. It seems daft overworking this one.
Yeah.
Can I, so are you happy to
I'll
propose?
second.
Can I have a second for that? Thank you, Gordon. All those in favour? Thank you. Item 15, to discuss the agreement between the charity and the Anston Parish Bowling Club as to use of the green by members of the public.
I put this on because we have a little bit of disagreements by members of the public using the green. They're entitled to use the green, because that's our agreement. Members of the public can use the green. The only thing that the bowling club pay for is the sole use during league matches. Now, if you work out the number of hours in a week that it's playable, and the number of hours that go towards teams.
Can you just use your microphone?
Sorry.
Then George can.
If you take the number of hours available for playing, and then take the number of hours that teams in matches play, it's about 20% of the total availability. And this is where we came up with the figure for £1,200 originally, because it was a share and share, and that was the ratio. But we didn't say that members of the public should be allowed to use it. But this presents certain problems. If they don't know what they're doing, they can damage the green quite easily by, first of all, not swishing the green in the morning, get rid of all the worm casts. Because if you walk on them, you finish up with the green with lots of bobbles that go hard, and it spoils the thing altogether. Unfortunately, somebody's got hold of a key, and they're letting themselves in. So, you can only hope that they do treat it with respect, but what we should do, I feel, is that like all other parish councils, make a charge for people using the green. We charge footballers for playing football. The bowling club pay for their 20% usage. So anybody that uses it and that should pay. And it's not a very big fee. I know at Wales they charge £1.50 for a session, or £1 for a pensioner.
John, can I just ask a question? Are you saying then that the bowling club pay for it, but members of the public don't? Have I misunderstood that?
No, it belongs to the charity.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And therefore, the bowling club requires sole use during matches.
Right, okay.
And therefore, they pay a rent to us
Yeah,
for the sole use during those match periods,
yeah.
which is 2 hours on Monday, 2 hours on Tuesday afternoon, 2 hours on Tuesday night, so Wednesday afternoon, so and so. And it works out at 15 hours in a week.
Right.
Call it 18 hours a week, which is about a fifth of its use, which, relatively speaking, is about right what we pay. But the thing is that we must, because it's charity is there for a purpose, for us to give the facilities to the members of the public. So we should be able to allow the public to play on it.
So do the public pay for it though?
But
And if so, how
what
do
we're
they
saying
pay
is
for
the
it?
public should pay for it.
Yeah.
And the only way that they can really get in is to ring the office and find out when somebody's in and get a key. And it just so happens that somebody's got a key. And it may be that somebody's let somebody borrow a key and somebody's going to cook one themselves. I mean, it's well secure as that. That was a Lafarge, and a new Lafarge that got the fences put up, but people just go and play. And it's not conducive to the state of the ground if they're not used, if it's not done properly.
Can I just, if members are aware with me, we've got Mrs Graham from the bowling club.
I'm the bowling club secretary.
The secretary would like to shed a bit of light on this. Can I just, if our members happy to give
I took over as bowling club secretary this year. The bowling club has an agreement with the parish council for an annual tenancy. That annual tenancy does not stipulate how many hours, etc., that we are allowed on that bowling green. It is an annual rate that we pay. I have already, prior to this meeting, asked for a meeting with members of the council to discuss our agreement, because our agreement at the moment is a generic one for the parish hall. It does not specify for the bowling club. It's a very peculiar one, I will agree. And as the new secretary, I wanted to get things more watertight. We have a policy where any member of the public can come onto the bowling green, providing there is a member of the club available to be there. We also open the bowling green up on a Saturday morning to all members of the public to come and try out bowls. From that, we are getting a very good response. Our numbers are going up because we are encouraging members of the public to come in. It's a free morning, and therefore they then filter into the club. We have had a very successful fun day on the same day as the festival, which there were over 100 people on that bowling green, members of the community. So we are not being elitist at all, which I think has been the accusation in the past. We are trying to encourage as many people from the community to participate. The problem we have got is 2 members of the public seem to think that they can come on the green when they want to, and it really makes a mockery of us actually paying a fee as residents, because our constitution actually says we are limited to residents of Anston, or we can propose members to become members from residents of Anston. So for people to come on without paying is making a mockery of our system that we've got and the agreement that we've got.
So the answer is you pay as a club.
We pay as a club.
Don't pay.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Can I just say, we've I think what it's done is unearthed the fact that we've got some agreements in place that are totally out of date and need revisiting with a lot of these things. Now, to try and get out of this, what I'd like to suggest, I'm quite willing, one or two other councillors, if they're happy to meet with Chair and Secretary and Treasurer of the bowling club to try and sort out where we stand on this, because I think it needs looking at and refreshing, because I suspect this goes back to 20 odd years since this was brought into place. And Michael said that this agreement relates to charity facilities or just valid things.
The back of the invoice is related to facilities.
Yeah.
Saying the parish profits as facilities.
Right. So I think
Historically, if you go back, you find that when they had tennis courts, we had a woman
yes,
in
I
the
know, I
lot,
can remember, John.
and you paid her to play bowls or play tennis. But it was costing more to pay her than it was that you collected for the
Because there was no income coming in.
Right.
But also, going back to that, John, I have looked through the minutes, and I've got all the minutes since the conception of the actual bowling club.
Yeah.
And at one time, the actual bowling club were the people who collected the money, from the public and paid it in, because the council couldn't afford to pay somebody to be on the game.
Yeah.
Can I just suggest then to so we can move on? If we try and arrange a meeting with representatives of the bowling club within the next few weeks, I'm quite willing to attend if anybody else wants to attend. Colin, I don't know, it's obviously, morning at the daytime or evening, whichever's mostly probably evening would be better.
I've actually
Just one
sent,
last word then, Diane.
sorry, I've sent an email to Michael requesting that meeting,
Right, okay.
and I've given 2 dates for which we are available to meet.
Right, okay, well, if Michael wants to circulate, he's copy me and then circulate it to other councils. If anybody wants to sit in on that meeting, we'll try and arrange that so we can have a look at how we can bring this agreement up to date, because it does seem to be a bit archaic. So we need to, as along with a lot of other things that we're looking at, I think it needs to be.
The problem is, Chair, is that we're working on trust,
Yes.
which was okay in 1966, but don't seem to make
Security is a critical issue on the bowling green there, because we don't want that open to all and sundry it used to be, otherwise we shan't have a facility left. So, if can I have a proposal? Oh, sorry, yeah, no, well, I'm proposing. John, do you want to second it? All those in favour, please show. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Item 16, discuss funding opportunities.
I think you mentioned it already.
Myself and the clerk and Councillor Thornton met Julie Adamson in August from VAR to try and have a look at what funding facilities were available, much in line like Jonathan said. I think we thought originally we might fall into one category, but again, like Miles has said earlier on, it's not that easy to slot into somewhere that's going to give you enough money for what you want. So we've had that one initial discussion with, and one's been ruled out, but there are other options. So we're still going to pursue that as much as we can. But I think just going over the page, there's another one from a Kate Butler. Is she the Multi-Town Council Clark, the new Clark? And they've obviously tapped into some money as well. I think what we'd like to do is have another meeting with the lady from VAR to see if we can take this forward. But somewhere further in the Parish Council Pack there's an invitation, I think, for VAR funding seminar, which we perhaps could do somebody.
It's very difficult because people are very reluctant to give money to parish councils because they think they're collecting money from the public anyway. At Dinnington, they have £10,000. They've just had it from the health lottery because that ground doesn't belong to the parish.
No.
And so it's much easier for them to ask for money. They're going to build new toilets and disabled facilities and somewhere to make a cup of tea and everything like that, because that green is used probably more than ours. Because I know, particularly on the vets, they've got 3 men's teams, and they've got
They did, just to
and 2 greens as well.
They did originally apply to Dinnington Town Council for the £10,000 grant. Unfortunately failed to get it, but obviously they've been successful elsewhere in getting that funding. So it's trying to find that. So are we happy just to receive that from Julie Adamson, and then we'll try and set another meeting with her to see if we can progress that. So if we receive that, can I just have a pause in a second that we arrange another meeting in the near future? You would perhaps be available as well, Miles, if we can do it. Okay, those in favour? Thank you. Item 17, resolve to exclude the person due to the confidential nature of the business to be transacted. There are no items, that's okay. Discuss any item for which, that's no item 18. Item 19, date and time of next meeting, Wednesday 7th of October 2015, 7 p.m. Thank you, I do apologise for the... If anybody wants a short break. Battery replacement.
It's supposed to drop to 3.5 something. Quick 3.5 something.
Can you make up your mind where you...
This is the only photograph you can of what happened on that day.
He's not getting the message, people keep buying it now.
That's my result. Right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll start the Parish Council meeting. Everybody okay? Item 1. Receive apologies for absence. Sorry about our representation regarding plan applications within the civil parish of Anston will be considered later in the meeting. Is anybody? No? Okay. Item 1, to receive apologies for absence. I'm in the book again. Councillors Vernon, Smith and Thornton. Everybody happy to receive those? Those in a second. Thank you. Item 2, disclose members' personal interests, DPI and any item to be discussed.
Item 18, Mr. Chairman.
Well, no, I mean, it's that's the only relevant call, because you put that item on the agenda so you don't have to... I've got 2, but I'm not declared interested. They're just agenda items, so you don't have to, unless you're under suspicion of breaking the code of conduct, then that's a different issue. Jonathan?
One of the planning, it's 12 list 34, it's one of our neighbours.
List 34, and then 76 nursery ground.
Yeah, just a couple of those ago.
Okay.
Potentially 13-1.
Potentially 13.
Yeah. I know it's a bit 50-50 that one. What?
Are you a youth?
I am technically among you lot.
That's very true, Mark.
About the photograph last year, there's a big girl.
Oh, we don't talk about that day, don't we?
He hasn't got any tips.
Yeah, can I just clarify that one then, Mark? From that, are you
Do I?
as chairman of the skate park committee?
Well, I'm not doing that. Actually,
Okay.
I'd like to be in it.
So he's not
Did not
I retract it. Yes, I apologise.
change it. Item 3, to identify items which press public may be excluded. I think we've already got some that are carried over from the last meeting. 22, 1, 2 and 3. If there's any others that we get further through on the agenda, we'll make a decision on that time. Item 4, confirm minutes of the meeting of the Parish Council on Monday 17th of August 2015. Nothing on that one. Page 2 or 3. Nothing. Page 3 of 3, which is, I don't know if you disagree with it, doesn't mean. Can I have the proposal in a second? Okay. All those in favour? Thank you. Item 6, to consider approve grant to Anston Parish Council Recreation Ground. Again, it's £4,330.26 and payment in kind to cover employment costs for September 2015.
That's a really epic acronym as well, that. ABCG.
We're going to well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We're still to a grant, so outside the parish, so we'll give that no proposal in a second for that first one.
Those that grant to the recreation
And second it, please. Miles?
This is just for the first one.
This is just for the first one, John, yeah. All those in favour, please show. Thank you. Item 2, Anston Ladies Choir.
Suggest, Chair, that you put 2, 3 and 4 together.
Yeah, I was looking to do that. You've got the grant applications
Yeah.
in front of you. They're fairly comprehensive. Can I just point out that if these are approved, they'll be left over until the awards evening, and they usually handed over to the treasurers or secretaries of the various community groups. If we can just deal with them in order, then Anston Ladies Choir requested for £100. Can I have anybody, any objections to that?
Well, they're raising money themselves, aren't they, as well, so
Can I take from?
the cash we've got,
Well, I think that applies to a lot of the groups. This will feed into what Councillor Town we're looking at later on the agenda, but I think for now, we just, what we did agree on, that we would stick to the present policy until we've got something else in place. So if I can have a proposal in a second for that £100 grant for that one.
Yeah.
John, Ivan, all those in favour? Thank you. SK 58 Birders, the next one. We'll go through them all and just, again, you've got the information.
yeah. Do we take into account?
Can we deduct £37 from any grants?
Well, we'll sort that one out, because I'm sure that's probably being paid, so rather than...
I think in this instance, the SK58 birders wanted to buy specifically the materials for bird boxes to put down Stones Wood. So in effect, they're putting it back straight away, aren't they? Which I think is a good thing.
Okay, so can I have a proposal that we accept that in a second, please? Miles, all those in favour? Thank you. Third one is Anston History Group. We've got the information from you. Can I have a and a second for that, was approved, and a second approved. Mick, all those in favour, please show. Thank you. And the last one is Age UK. We normally £50 donation for this. I have to say they do a pretty good job throughout the borough, so it's not so exclusive to Rotherham town centre or that area itself. So it is a borough-wide initiative that they're doing, and they do some quite good work. So I think we should support it. So everybody happy that we give £50? Not Ivan. All those in favour, please show. Thank you very much. Approve payments and sign cheques, approve grants we have all if any. Does that mean? Oh, sorry. Can we put it to the other side of your recreation ground? Seven of them. So, everybody got that in front of them? And total is £13,820.
I propose that we accept that.
Okay. Anybody any questions on it? Okay.
Who's going to get the ordnance survey done to crack a licence?
That's the licence which allows us to reproduce all
Oh,
the survey.
Yeah, so it's for plan application.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So as you're talking about finance, it's something that's not on the agenda, it's something I don't want to ask it, I don't want to ask a question. Will you give permission to go ahead and just ask a quick question?
Yeah.
The land opposite the cemetery belongs to the parish, as doesn't it?
No.
Or who's it gone to then?
Borough Council.
I thought that,
Is this where they've got their equipment for
Yeah.
resurfacing the road?
so what about the piece of land at the other end? I thought that used to be West Riding, where they kept all the plugs from road repairs. Well, we've got a gate, there's a main gate.
Turner's Triangle is ours.
Donated to the parish.
Yeah, we were given that by Turner family, I presume.
Yeah, but if that doesn't belong to their cemetery, it's not.
No, I thought that when I saw it with the age on that had gone on there. I mean, just to the side, I wanted to make sure it's properly reinstated because our parish sign is on there and it's all still clean and tidy, but I will check when we've gone and make sure they do tidy up.
First of all, we're going to put it on the farm.
Yeah, well, and they
They
were going to
refuse
use,
because they'll get the harvester in there.
they were going to use the Crowgate football pitch as well.
Yeah.
I think that they obviously not done that because we thought we might get some tarmac out of it. They changed their mind. Sorry.
Having had some recent experience of that same thing in site cabins on grass, the contractors really should have put something in there for it
Well,
to be
you just put
reinstated.
some blood, whatever down there.
Yeah, but even so they should be reinstated.
But I will take that with the board to make sure it's been reinstated. Just to confuse the issue, that was the issue, Councillor Baker raised this a few years since when those trees were put back on there, and I think it was actually Bassett or nothing, she went and cut them back, thinking it was their land. And it was Borough Council, so they went back, they went there and chopped the trees, not very well. The Borough Council had to come out and tidy them up, so it just shows you where people aren't sure whose land is what, and they'd strayed over the border from...
Because it was
because it's a trunk road, and they thought it, was there when it was a trunk road, apparently. It's been de-trunked now, but yeah, it's not, don't lose on, I'll take that with them. Where are we? So we're okay on that. Can I have a proposal and a second if accepted? No, do we need that? Any other questions on that? Can I have a proposal and a second then for that one, please? Colin? Janice? All those in favour, please? Thank you. So Yeah, number 8, which is the second pack that you've got in front of you, counts. Anybody any queries on that first page? Bank reconciliation. You said that's still waiting. When you get a second? Yeah, we're due with second part of the precept at the end of September. 6 weeks. Everybody happy with those? Could I just ask a quick question? You did give a grant to Rose Methodist Church towards a projector. I gave some money from my community leadership, but I've had that sent back because I've not been able to raise the funding for it. I'm sure we get that. Or have we actually sent it to them?
What was that plan?
We did give £100 grant to the North Anston Methodist Church up in the Wells towards a projector, but they've not been able to raise sufficient funding. So they've returned the money that I've got them, so I would presume that they'll be returning that. Well, no, well, it may be, that may not be the case. I mean, it's up to them, but that is, I know what that's going to spend it on, so we'll see what happens with that. Receipts, 8B. 20p. Nobody get carried away with this one, go here, 20p. Can we accept? I'm proposing to say no, accept those, please. Jonathan, thank you. All those in favour? It's a massive, life-changing amount now. C, payments schedule. Anybody any questions?
Just want the control of reg boards. I know we have to do it under DEFRA if it's any land that's adjoining agricultural land. But is that, what period is that? Oh, just a month?
That's the once a year treatment.
Just once a year? That's fine.
Okay, anybody else any? Items like that will be picked up in the stone wood. Give it to them. They'll be doing that once we get that done. Any other items? Okay, propose and second for those, please. Anybody? Thank you. Second. Thank you. All those in favour, please show. Thank you. And the last item, overview of accounts for publishing on the council's website, which is saying, can we propose that in a second? John, all those in favour, please show. Thank you. And the last, we're on to item 9. We've actually got the budget summary, haven't we? We've got that in front of you. At the moment it's showing surplus, is that right?
Also 2000
Yeah, the class just pointed out that we saved £2,000 on the £1,900 on the insurance after some good work by himself and the rest of the staff, so that's a good, it just shows you that there are savings out there, mainly with insurance companies as well. So if everybody's happy with that, can I have a proposal again in a second, please? Jonathan, all those in favour, please show. Thank you. Item 10. Receive report on debtors, and these are well, theoretically not until the 1st. They're actually not debtors as such until the 1st of January when that allotment payments due. So I would expect that come then the January, February, those will be paid off. Do you want to make a
I
comment?
just propose we accept it because we're not real debtors yet, and the amounts are so small anyway, aren't they? So I suppose we just
It's
accept
only
it.
really just a running update that's on for. Can I have a close in a second, please, for the second one? All those in favour? Thank you. Item 11, to appoint 2 members to carry out the internal audit of the July accounts. That was supposed to be myself.
Would you like to
Well, I was supposed to be there, but we ran out of time, which council thought it's not here, so I'll do it again if anybody else wants to. Philip, you're all right with that? Thank you. Item 12, consider planning license matters, transport issues and receive reports. Planning list, list 33, item 183, tax garage, 30 Orchid Way, South Anston. Neighbours and planners.
Yeah.
Everybody happy with that one? List 33, item 1082, extension 24 Thirlmere Drive. Again, neighbours and planners. List 33, item 187, extension 2 Falcon Way. Again, neighbours and planners. Everybody happy with that? List 33, 1093, varied conditions, Avon Farm Court. I've lost track now how many times I've altered the drawings for those houses. Keep moving rooms about and such like. I'm not sure which one this, but it's only an internal alteration, I think. That they apply for, but you have to get varied conditions. Everybody happy to leave that to planners? I don't think there are many neighbours around there, to be truthful. So it probably used to be planners. Everybody happy with that one? List 34. 1067, demolition extension 76 Nursery Crescent. Again, neighbours and planners. Everybody happy with that? List 35, item 1153, extension 1 Borrowdale Crescent. Again.
Borrowdale was in Billington.
Sorry? Part of it is. That's based in Anston. It's down to number. No, it's before that. It's where you get to.
Is it just after Bridal Close?
Just past Colbeck. It's a couple of houses after there. It goes at Appleby. It's part of Northampton. Beyond that is Dinnington. Further down. So that just falls in Northampton. Again, unless anybody's got any objections, we leave to neighbours and planners. Item 1147, demolition extension in garage 10 Magnolia Hills. Again, Southampton. Again, on to that one. So, neighbours and planners. Again. Yeah, we've had a letter regarding the. Just one other one I was going to bring up. I noticed that there was an application for Penny Piece Place, I think, onto Corrie Lane that was killed last time. I think that one's actually been one's been refused, and this is the second application. One for that was refused. I'm not sure because I've got 2 applications to go. The first one I think was refused because of the size and scale of the stench or the new build. This is just regarding the church and the 144 car parking spaces on land off Common Road. There is a has it been sent out to me? Right, so if you can just check up on this, it has been, I'm not going to read through it, it's been sent out to members by the client because it's only been received this afternoon, so if you want to check your emails when you get back, it's site visit is next Thursday morning, but it's been emailed out to me. There was another one I was going to update people on that, one that had been refused, and I can't think which one it was. It will come to me, probably. Oh, I know which one it was. The extension to the Woodlands care home. That's been withdrawn by the applicant. I'm not sure on what grounds. I've had an email through this afternoon saying it had been withdrawn. So they've perhaps been told to go away and think about it again. If you remember, it was fairly close to the Capers Road bungalows. I think we did comment on its close proximity. So, but as I said, that's been withdrawn, so it may well be a reapplication later on. Item 13, consider matters from previous meetings. 13.1, Councillor Sadler discuss removal of youth shelter.
Right, I feel like I've been banging my head on this particular brick wall for too long, and that tonight it's going to get finally settled. I would like Anston Parish Council to adopt a conservation and biodiversity policy.
Hang on, Christine, you're getting in front of yourself. This is 13.1 about the removal of the
yes,
don't get too excited. I know you're getting
right. Yeah, youth shelter. Okay. In my opinion, the youth shelter has caused a lot of trouble. I'm sure Sandra, she's gone.
Yeah.
Sandra knows more about it than anybody, but I propose that it's demolished.
Anybody's views on that? Gordon, then Jonathan,
Well, we had a
and
meeting
then...
at the allotments committee yesterday, and North Anston allotments would like to take that, if rather than demolish it.
What do you want to do with it?
For young people,
For young gardeners.
Yeah. Don't you
Jonathan, do you want to speak on that?
Who actually owns it? Because I was under the impression that it was the Borough Council who
It was
donated there.
They gave us it to us, but we had to pay the cost of moving it from Crowgate right down here.
And aren't we keeping, if we leave it there, aren't we keeping whatever problem it's causing in one place, where if it's moved, then it could be sat on your front wall on your street, or...
Yeah.
Well, that's
and
not
they are
our
quite a way
problem,
away
is it?
from anybody.
Miles, sorry, Ivan, then Miles.
I sort of agree with what Jonathan just said there, that if we move it, where we're going to move the, or if we remove it, where we're going to move the problem to. Secondly, are we better off looking at policing it a bit more effectively? And thirdly, if we do remove it, where are the kids going to go?
There is also a cost implication if we
He
demolish
just
it.
told you where it's going.
Where?
The allotments. Not the kids. Where the kids going to go.
Who's paying for that?
But then we'll say, if we encourage any children to go into the allotments, then of course...
Sorry, Mark, then just Miles.
I'm of two minds about it, actually, because half the kids have told me that they don't want it. So it encourages some older ones to come and do things there which aren't necessarily associated with skating. And at the same time, the other half have said they need it because when it rains and just that sometimes they just want somewhere to go. And again, just to blur it up a bit, we have taken into consideration that not being there when the new one's built and designing something completely weird and wonderful, which will be in my report as well. I'd like to do a proper, is it possible to do a consultation for young people and things like that, to see if they actually want it and weigh it up?
As far as I'm aware, there's no reason why you can't do that, bring some findings back.
They should have the final say at the end of the day, because it's not there, it's being used by them.
John?
No.
If I'm not mistaken, Chair, didn't we have a report given to the council on recommendations from the security people?
Yeah.
And did they not come to the conclusion that it's better where it is because they know where things are happening? They can identify straight away where it is.
Yeah, if there's a problem, it's usually going to be around there, so it's not going to go looking for it. It's like the Ivan.
I'm inclined to agree with that. If you know where all the kids are hanging out, then you know where the problem's going to be. If there's no focal point for them, they could be anywhere, up to anything. So, and I also agree that it's a bit out of the way.
I question what the problems are as well.
Can I just make a, sorry, I'll bring the clerk.
Good point.
No, just to sort of expand on what security said, is that essentially it's within headlight distance, so when we drive in, you can shine the headlight on it at night and you can see who's there. And it's far enough away from the houses and other things to not cause problems to residents. It may be causing problems to the young children, but obviously the residents are very well separated from it.
Can I just come in, Craig? I agree with what you said, because A, we know where it is, and I take Ivan's point that it's how we police it as well. If we've got security checking up near whatever times at night. The bowling club usually are obviously next to it during the season. I don't know what sort of problems you've had down there, John, from...
Well, I've learned one or two new swear words.
Have you? As long as it's expanded your vocabulary, that's...
And I've put it down.
Well, it's not been... It strikes me it's not been sufficiently bad for you to come to us and say, oh, we want that improvement. You shout back. The thing, the point I'd like to make is that if we demolish it, it's going to cost us money, and if we move it anywhere else, it's going to cost us money to re-erect it. If we demolish it, and Miles' skateboard project is a year, 18 months in the pipeline, we take it down there is nowhere for the kids to go in that ensuing period, which might lead us to have more problems around. Because if some congregate down here or whatever at night, and do we get more problems than vandalism in the parish hall, which has not been too bad recently, has it? We've touched wood, we've got away with like it might be, and it's keeping them out of the vicinity of this. So it's just trying to bear all those things in mind. I understand Chris's tolerance. I know Sandra had not a good experience the other week, but...
Sandra's had a lot of bad experiences and a lot of complaints. And I personally don't think it's the public's responsibility to find somewhere for youth to go. I know this is an old-fashioned attitude from when I was a kid and to present day. Times have changed, I appreciate that. But I don't see why the general public should have to put up with kids who swear and create a bad example for little kids when the parents are there.
I mean, what I'd like to do, rather than just go ahead and say, right, it's going to come down and whatever the consequences, I'd like to, if it's up to what members think, but if Miles is willing to take a bit of research down there and see what they find. I mean, we can ask the security firm to monitor it maybe a bit more closely. We'll also try and get South Yorkshire Police, if they're in the passengers, just make them aware of the problem. At the moment, I've not had any reports from anybody else complaining about it. And I know it's a difficult decision because you take it away from one group who think it's great and another group that don't particularly want it there. But I'm not against looking. I think we need to just be careful as to how we go into this. I think we need to maybe police it a bit better and see what we find.
What Chris said is quite right, because the problems that you get there, it's the effect on the younger children by the older children. The thing is, from now we're going to the stage of the year where they're not going down there, it's dark. So there's no... Oh, sorry. The problem at the moment will not be a problem because the kids don't go down at night. The kids get down there in the evenings at about 8 and 9 o'clock, when young kids are still playing on the skate park.
And weekends, John.
And weekends. But now, at least the problem is reduced in that it's not the evenings because it's dark. And they can't show off to anybody in dark, if you know what I mean.
I don't see why it should be our responsibility when it's the parents' responsibility.
Well,
you could argue that why are we supplying recreation grounds, or why are we supplying football pitches or bowling greens? We provide facilities for a broad range of the local community. Why not young people as well? You know, I think you've got to balance it out right across the community, not just exclude one particular group.
I think the proposal that allow me to a consultant on Facebook, you can get all the 400 and do a survey on there straight away, and I can print it off and bring it back and show you in graph form. Brilliant.
Is it going to be fair though, Miles?
Well, it's the people.
Or is it just the ones who reply are going to be the ones who want to keep it?
Well, it's the ones who use it. Again, I think to me the issues aren't so much young people issues. It's more the older generation not understanding the younger generation issues.
Oh, hang on.
I
We're making excuses to swear.
I think you're right.
To me, there's worse things in the world than...
Can I just go on, mate?
I'll just offer another alternative, a bit like that, I suppose. I'm quite experienced at this. I would offer to take some photographs of it and put it on eBay. And give the proceeds to Miles to do what he wants.
It's a laudable thought, but I think much nobody would want they said we won't want to pay for it and then pay for the costs of relocating and taking up, so I think we might be stuck with it.
Let's see what the kids want first.
Can I, Jonathan,
Just a quick one, how many
Just bear with
registered
me.
complaints have we had? As a,
I've not,
just to get...
I've not had any straight to me as a parish councillor or
And none to the parish council either?
no, not that I'm aware of.
Any?
No, it's only been basically through Mrs. Warlett that we've had.
So really through...
Generally speaking, it's about
for a population... It's fine, I suppose.
Get back in your
For a
box.
population of 8,000, I don't think they're causing too much problem really, because there's only one complaint.
I mean, to be fair, there's very little in the village for it's nothing, and that's the one and only possible place that they can go and sit and have a discussion about politics and
Do you think that's what they do?
children of that age.
I'm sorry to disillusion you, but they don't.
Can I just, I've got two members of the audience who want to make a comment. I'm going to give you, if it's all right, I'll give you 2 minutes each just to.
There's one time today when he used to do as he was told.
I know, not even bigger than you. Kevin, do you want to speak?
Well, to be quite honest with you, I mean, you might not know this, but I'm at park every night, locking gates up, from more or less dusk until 9 o'clock at night. When I come to park visiting to the main visits for gates, quite often bump into South Yorkshire Police, which are in car park. Now, they sometimes spend 5 minutes in there, sometimes spend 10 minutes in there. They always ask us if we've had any problems with kids on park. We haven't had no problems. I personally, when we've been, as I say, for the last couple of years since that shelter's been there, I've had no problems with any kids on there. Over, then we do get occasionally a little fire burning, but as soon as it says pull on, that gets put out straight away. Or if not, we just have a walk down to them and just tell them to calm it down. Security are in and out, they pretty much revel on it. But my argument is with this, and I mean, one of the police officers made a fair comment. I said, well, where would they go if we didn't have that shelter? And what she actually turned around and said is, what they would actually do, they would actually return to the streets and become a nuisance to more residents than what they're doing if they're causing any problems here.
Well, there used to be.
Apparently, South Yorkshire Police has only had one complaint from that youth shelter, and that is apparently coming from the same person. Who that is, I don't know. So in their eyes, and bearing in mind, I think I'm right in saying it was actually their shelter, was it? They actually...
It was a Borough Council shelter up at Crowley, yeah. It wasn't used, that's why they gave it to
yeah, it weren't used up there, so it came down here, now it actually is being used. So, from the conversations what I have with South Yorkshire Police when I'm in here doing my duties at night, and the experiences I've had with kids what's on park late at night, one thing and another, that basically the problems I would say are none. So why it's become a big issue that this one's moving and this one's moving? But like they said, I mean, at the end of the day, as far as I'm concerned, the police officer I spoke to, and they always ask us if there's any problems, and if they're in when we're here, they'll always come and after a couple of minutes with us and ask us. And as far as I'm concerned, the police officer hit the nail on the head when she turned around and said, right, well, if the shelter goes, how many more complaints are we going to get off residents because we've got unruly behaviour around the village? At least if they're here, we can see them. We know where they are. They do make regular patrols in. I probably see them 2, maybe 3 times a week. They don't just, it's not a fleeting visit, they don't just fly in and fly out. They pull into car park, they turn the lights off, they sit there for maybe 10-15 minutes and then they go. And like they said, we might go for half an hour, but we might come back. And so, the behaviour that I have actually witnessed from that shelter, or around that shelter, has been very, very minimal. And I think it's a sad case if we have to shut youth today back out onto the streets because we've got a couple of people who just can't tolerate it. I mean, my next question is, have they ever been children themselves?
That's not a question we want with.
No.
Can I just thank you, Julie, if you just a couple of quick points.
I just think we should give them some responsibility in this, the people who are using it, and get them, if they appreciate it and they want to keep it, I think it's only fair that we ask them to get involved in making sure that it's not causing problems to other people. You know, I mean, I'm not a councillor, but I'd be quite happy to go and chat to them or get a youth
I do
worker
it
involved or
every week.
somebody. To actually say to them, look, you could lose this unless you start and...
Can I just, I'm sorry to cut short, but can I just ask Miles, do we still get the youth bus
We do
visiting now?
every, I think it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
it's got a lot less, it's like
I know it's,
Thursday.
well, it's something I need to take up because it used to be on a regular basis,
At
like
the
weekly. But
area
it seems
assembly
to,
meeting, they told us, well, I don't know Anston Lady was in charge, but I think they go to Greenlands now instead of coming here.
well,
because of
perhaps
the
we could
issues
look
of
at getting, because I think what they need to do from the youth service is to say to them, look, this could go, even if they, when they engage with them now. I mean, I'm quite happy for Miles to do a bit of sort of research down there, but I have to say my view is that this month in time we leave it as it is and monitor it and see. We get to the wrong end of the year, I think we see how it goes and then look at it again and see what we get back with the view to, you know. But it will be to cost if we decide to cost the youth and the cost of the parish for taking it down. I'm sorry, you just have to.
Clive, some of them are old enough to drive cars,
I know.
coming cars, so if they're old enough to do that, they're old enough to see where their responsibility in all this comes. I don't think you should mollycoddle them. I think they've got to
They should take responsibility for it.
You know,
If they're not down here in cars, they're up at Greenland's causing a problem, and that's another issue, but that's not for us.
No.
Can I have a
I'll propose
proposal then, please, of somebody?
I'd like to propose that we keep it as it is for now, certainly until we can look into what new people think about it, and also the plans that are in place or going to be in place for the skate park.
So keep as is and
Can I have a second for that? Miles, Jonathan? So the proposal is that we status quo them all, we see how it goes, we monitor it and let Miles do a customer survey down there.
User survey.
I have to say that I'm comforted by what Kevin said, that the police come and monitor it as well, so that's encouraging.
Just as an aside, Kevin, if you see him down here and it's a parish council meeting, could you ask him if he'd like to call in and give us an update? Because that would be a novelty.
I did actually ask one officer why they didn't actually come in and actually give us updates on any crime that was going off in village, what residents or people should be knowing about. And basically the reply I got was, every time we've tried to speak, we've not been allowed to.
Well, I don't know whether I recognise that scenario, John, because we've never seen him for 3 years to give him a chance to speak. So.
Well, I would think it'd be a good idea if they were actually invited to give updates.
There is a standing invitation to them, but they've changed command that often. I think most people are aware that we exist, nor are the other parish councils. It's a thorny subject all around the area.
I will mention it to them if I see it.
Okay, thank you. So can I have a proposal? We've got that seconded. Can I have all those in favour, please show? Thank you. Anybody against it? No. Councillor Sadler, 8.13.2.
Is this my big
To
chance?
discuss formation of conservation and biodiversity working group.
As I've already said, I feel I've been banging my head on this brick wall for too long, and I hope it's going to get settled tonight. I would like Anston Parish Council to adopt a policy of biodiversity and conservation, starting with the green. Does everybody know where the green is? Yes?
Don't be afraid to be embarrassed and say
Have you? Well, yeah, I know lots of people who don't know where it is.
A lot don't know where the stones are.
Have you read the maintenance schedule?
No, because
You not? Yeah.
well, unfortunately, we've only just got this tonight, and I suspect most people have not had a chance to
Well,
read it.
it's not half time. I'll give it 2 minutes.
Is this a proposed schedule, or that's what it is now?
It's proposed.
No, at the minute it's slash and burn.
Yeah.
I would like to ask the clerk actually, where do the ground workers get the orders from, or do they do as they like? Michael?
That's good, but as far as I'm going to get the rotor is supplied by Chicago, is it?
Is it? Do you mean is there a schedule of a specification for it being cut, like once a week, twice a week,
Yeah.
whatever. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, well,
My-
everything
yeah.
to do with maintenance of the green. Do they receive orders from the clerk, or do they do as they like?
Can I try and make a suggestion here, Christine, rather than just maybe go around?
I'm trying to get to the
I
bottom
know,
of the situation so I can deal with it.
Yeah, okay, just bear with me. What we've got to do later on in the meeting, we've got in terms of reference for the Anston Stone Wood Committee. Now, our suggestion that we change the title of that to the Open Spaces Committee, if anybody wants to pick another name.
No,
And
because
this is
Anston Stones is a triple S.
No.
And
You're missing what I'm saying. Open space, it's not going to be Anston Stones Wood, it would be open spaces, and that would look at all these sort of issues as well as the Stones Wood, so it would be a wider remit for that group. They would look at conservation areas as well.
You can't treat the two areas the same because they're different.
Well, but they'll all come under an embracing committee, they wouldn't be treated the same.
Well,
You would look at one items separately to the stores, but it would come under one group's.
right. Until that gets off the ground, I would like some immediate action on the green. All summer, it's been slashed.
Can I just say, it's an amenity grassland, it's an open space, and
It's
the appropriate...
a conservation area.
No, it's not a conservation grassland.
It's a conservation area.
It may be in a conservation area, but it's not a conservation grassland. There's a difference. It's an amenity grassland that's an open space, and it has to be managed in accordance with amenity grasslands. Now, if you're going to change that, you can't just change it overnight. Certainly once throughout the growing season, when things have been agreed on how it's going to be cut, when and where and how often.
Has anybody agreed?
Say again?
Has anybody
It obviously hasn't passed, but the point is that if you're going to change a specification for managing any piece of land, you don't just do it overnight. You look at what needs doing, what your outcomes that you need.
Yeah,
So if you want it to be a 3-foot high grassland full of wild flowers, and that's your aim, that's your objective at the end of it. It was just an example. If that's your objective, then you need to aim towards it. If it's to keep it with a grass sward that's about 6 inches high, then you need to work towards that.
I realise all
Right,
that.
well, I'm glad about that, but you can't just do it overnight. It has to be looked at, written at, and then it has to be put into some sort of work schedule.
Yes,
You can't just do it overnight. And the second thing I want to say is, I don't understand why we're concentrating so much on what is quite a small piece of land when we're neglecting triple SIs and some of the finest grasslands in the whole of South Yorkshire.
We can do it all, either.
But
all
why
I want to
why are we
do
concentrating on
is
one
stop.
standard?
All I want to do is for Anston Parish Council to adopt a conservation policy. Could I ask you where you have got your information that the green is not a conservation area?
I never said, you're not listening to
You
what I'm
said
saying,
it's not
Christine. I said it's not a conservation grassland.
I have been
Just
told
a moment,
that it
hang
is.
on, one at a time. Can I just let Councillor Merchant finish? It's actually in a planning conservation area, not a conservation.
No,
It is.
the Conservation Department in Rotherham have told me that the green is a conservation area, the grass itself.
No, it's not.
It's the building.
It's the buildings,
No.
the grassland.
No, that is not what I've been
I tell you
told.
what, Christine, come back with a piece of paper from the council that says that that's a conservation grassland.
They've told me that over the phone.
I mean, it's quite correct when it says the conservation area is the building, it's not just the
No,
outside. It's
I
quite
asked
correct.
them that. No.
Well, I think your information might be incorrect. I'd ask you again.
So is the conservation officer for grasslands telling me, donkeys?
I don't
What
know
was
who
that,
you spoke-
Ivan?
I don't know who you spoke to at Rotherham.
Rotherham Council doesn't have a conservation officer for grasslands.
They're both buildings.
Who did I speak to?
I don't know, what was the name?
I've got it here, I'll look at it.
Tell us what the name is.
I've just said to you, I've got it written down, I will look it up.
Clerk,
I
is that
spoke to
Hang
someone.
on.
what number is it? The on the agenda is the green.
It's not.
It's not on it.
It's not. We should be discussing active formation and conservation.
So,
I have asked-
so can we keep to the?
Which is what we need to.
I have asked repeatedly to start with the green.
Why is it so important?
But, I mean, to be fair, that's only been handed to us tonight. If we
Right.
wanted that to be considered, it should have been sent whenever, so it could have been part of the pack. I'm
Fair
not wishing to
enough.
denigrate the work
Can we
you've
just
done,
stick
but
to the issue? Is Anston Parish Council going to adopt a policy of conservation and biodiversity, or are they not? Can we put it to the vote?
Yeah, well, that's why I said it needs to come under the Open Spaces Committee that will look at all this.
That's not what I'm asking for. Tonight, I am asking for that vote.
But that policy would be part of their remit to look at that.
We don't know that yet. It's not even got off the ground. I want something to happen immediately regarding the green.
Well,
I've been asking for long enough. Can we put it to the vote? Do the members want a conservation policy or not?
Can I let Councillor Tardy speak, please?
Sorry, I was just going to say, a couple of people interjected and raised a couple of the points that I was going to mention, but it seems to be descending into a little bit of an argument. I think perhaps some of the discussions that we're having would be best had within a working group, whichever working group that happens to be. It seems that Councillor Sapp was proposing or wanted to discuss the formation of a conservation and biodiversity working group, so we should let her raise that point. And I think at the beginning she asked a specific question, so I think we should, we might not, or members might not like what a councillor proposes at some point, but we have to discuss it and we have to hear both sides of the argument.
Could I just reiterate that I have been told by Rotherham Borough Council Conservation Department, there, a person there who is in charge of conservation grassland, that Anston grassland is a conservation area, not just the buildings. I'm just telling you what I've been told.
Chairman, can I just pass a comment? I live in a conservation area, and it's not on my buildings, it's all the trees in my land that are under conservation.
Well, I'm not trees, 6 cows.
Trees are, but not grass, I don't think. Trees
I mean,
and
remarks are passed at this time. People don't know what they're talking about.
Hang on, George.
You can take 6 cows up and graze them. You can take sheep up and graze them. That's what the village green is.
Play sports.
Of
course
you
it
can play
is.
sports, you can play football.
What's this got to do with, is the council going to adopt a conservation policy or not? That's all I want to know.
Can I
make a proposal, Chair, just to satisfy Councillor Stadler? I propose that we look at a biodiversity working group as part of the Open Spaces